Hey everybody. How you doing? Oh, Leslie the Little Plazzic here. Zazoo Plazz. At dusk. October 23rd. I almost said 1989. It's 2022. I don't know what year it is. It took me a while to get out here. This is for my Zazoo Plazz report. I couldn't find my glasses. It's like, oh, it's a week before my birthday, so oh, there's a plane. Oh boy, what a time it is to be alive, huh? So I had a backup pair, like that I got from my mom's collection. She had like 50 million pairs of, readers, and like 2 of them I could actually see through. So I donated the rest of them. And then I have this one super duper pair because her eyes were worse than, because I have, bionic eyes now. So I save that for like when I can't read like really, really tiny print on a package or something. I don't know, like the farther I go along here, it seems like they make the print like extra small just to stick it to you. Sorry. Anyway, so we searched the whole house. Zach is, my youngest son is home. We went up to see him yesterday at college. It was parents' weekend, and took him out to eat. And then, so he was home, and then he played in his band last night. So he was studying today. Figured he'd crash in home and go back to college later, go back to his dorm. So he's there. We're all looking. Couldn't find my glasses. Turns out I found him in the middle of the living room carpet, where I had put them down so I could visit with my dog BB for a little bit. And I was sort of playing with her and pretending like my oldest son left his little push-up bar things, and I was sort of giving her a little chin rest and goofing off, and I forgot I had put my glasses down there on the carpet. And since they're see-through, I couldn't find the darn things to go upstairs. And then I went upstairs and took a shower, and then I came down and I'm like, where are my glasses? So St. Anthony came through. Usually I pray to St. Anthony, and I found them. So I found them sitting there miraculously unstepped on the carpet right in the corner. I have to go back and finish my Halloween decoration. Usually they sit on the table somewhere until like the week before, and then I finally get up to, decorating. I'm one of those last minute. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll put a pumpkin here, a pumpkin there, I'm just, one of those gradual decorators. I'm definitely not one of those people who always like had my Christmas decorations up, the last week in September or somewhere, I don't know. First week in November they got their Christmas decorations. That's definitely not me. I'm like December 15th. I'm good time. Or we get the stuff out and it just like takes me a month to put it all out, and then I have to put it away. So it takes me till mid-January. I figure, it's all the same. And then it's kind of like going to my mother-in-law's house, where she's got all the holidays all at once. She's got flowers, she's got like Easter bunnies hanging here, and she's got the little Christmas people moving there. She's got like a Christmas tablecloth and an Easter bonnet hanging up on the wall. It's like all the holidays exploded. Anyway, did I ramble enough? Oh, geez, okay. So, yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, the reason I thought it was 1989 is because I realized through, my connection to the Galactic Center pipeline, I found out today, October 23rd, 1989, Janet Jackson released Rhythm Nation. At least the song. I think she released the album around the same time. But remember the video? And I'm going to put the link. Oh man, it's perfect today. Saturn is going forward in Aquarius. Aquarius is like that, Rhythm Nation. Duh, duh, duh. Everybody's wearing like the big boots, and the lug boots are back with the big soles that we used to wear, and like everybody's sort of dressed alike, but kind of funky, and they got those little Johnny caps on. They're like, do, 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 do. Rhythm Nation. So I start dancing around the kitchen, right? Like only Janet Jackson can do. I found out, oh man. So it really wasn't this song that was stuck in my head this time. Rhythm Nation. I love that song. I was 23 when this song came out. And it was such, for our generation, she's a year younger than me or so, we felt a sense of hope. I had just graduated college, a couple years before that. Yeah. In fact, I was thinking, the other thing that happened this week, the year 35 years ago, the year I did graduate from college, I was working at a bond trader desk at a local insurance company. Well, it was called Phoenix Mutual, but it's since been taken over and renamed, and like so many other places that are unrecognizable. But I happened to be working there, and I was working with bond traders because I had a finance investments degree, and I was helping to build a new bond trading system. But I was dealing with the daily trades, so that the traders would make their trades and give them to me, and we had these rudimentary, I don't even know that you would call them PCs. They were PCs, but we had like mainframe. We had Bloomberg machines. We had like, with the little stock prices going across, and we had like the blinking DOS cursor and all that. I had used Macs in college, but we were still using like Lotus 123 and these like floppy disks, and these kids, they would be totally helpless today. If we plopped them back in 1987, they'd be like, what the heck is this? How do I do this? But we're like, so anyway, having navigated that, it was my first job out of college. I was loving it. I was meeting with brokers, and they were schmoozing us, trying, whining and dining. I even went to New York City. So when I'm sitting there on this one afternoon in October, it was right around this time before my birthday, and the stock market crashed. Like everything just like, I remember where I was in my little corner desk, and I remember the keyboard, and I remember the phones going crazy, and the brokers going crazy, and everybody's, and I'm like, okay. So in the aftermath of that, and while all this was going on, we had social unrest, we had, walls coming down, and things, weird diseases and things washing up on the shore, so it did not make for, we had such idealist, so many hopes for our future. And then, but the music at least was great. You turn on the TV and you're like, but it prepared us for this time. So Janet, she's like, well, what can I do? All of this stuff that's going on really bothers me, but, I want to write a song. I'm going to write a song, and I want to dance, because that's what I do. So I'm going to get together with my friends and just record a cool, not just any song and dance, but one that reflects her feelings about society and how she hoped to make a difference. And that, we are united by our music, aren't we? Whatever you define as your generation, it makes us come together and do what little we can do. It's what it is an expression of hope, and an expression of, okay, everybody, instead of just sitting there complaining about the state of the world and watching the fires help put them out. My kid who now knows the names of like all the trees in the, all Connecticut. He's an environmental science major up at UConn. So he's telling us about how he has to, Mom, takes a long time to memorize. You could never memorize all the names of these trees. I'm like, well, one a day. Maybe you could, make some plaques to put on the trees, like our Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection. There's this park in downtown Hartford called Bushnell Park. And years ago, it was someone in forestry's, I guess, or what, the park's idea to go and identify some of the trees in the park and put little placards, so people on their walks, on their lunch breaks, they could enjoy the trees, and learn about the different varieties of trees we have in the New England area. So, there's something. Somebody did something. Somebody was good at, trees and making signs. So, like my kid, he sees a need and he goes and does. He said, Mom, I want to go fight wildfires in California next summer. He's like, today he decides, oh, maybe I'll go back to the other school and take fire sirens again. We're looking at each other like, okay. Because last year he was at his brother's school majoring fire science. He said, now I want to go in environmental science. He goes to this school. So now I want to go back to the other school. Like, are you freaking kidding me? There should be a penalty for how much turmoil you should put your parents through. We're like, okay, we're all being supportive, and trying to guide him through it and everything. And I'm like, all right, so I said to my husband, I'm like, all right, we just need to, so what, we need to get creative here, right? This is not my parents' generation. This is not my parents' parenting. Because, with me, it was like, okay, you're going to go to school and we're paying, so you're going to major in business and you're going to get a job that's going to pay your, expenses, and you're going to go do it. So that's what I did. So I'm sitting there with my nice practical finance degree, sitting there watching the whole world fall apart, going, wow, isn't this nice? Isn't this special? Isn't that special? Oh my God. I said, all right, plan B. Now we're like, okay, plan, what are we on? D? I don't know. So, sometimes you have to get down to so I said to my husband, well, this is not a time to move around this way. It's a time to be where you are and do your little dance, like Janet. So, and there's going to be a lot of people who don't like your dance, right? They tried the record company said, no, Janet wanted to make this great video, and make it in black and white. And it was shocking, and it was radical, and she wanted to portray the, black and white racial harmony. She wanted peace. Music brings everyone together, right? Whether you're on this side or on that side, make it black and white, right? And, make it cool so the kids will listen to it. And when they listen to it, then they will be uplifted. And then they will make the change that they need to make in the world based on their particular skills. Maybe it's dance, maybe it's singing, maybe it's communicating and being funny and making jokes out in the woods with a lantern. Whatever you're moved to do. Study astrology. There's a lot of websites there. I want to make a great community. I want to make Zazoo Nation. See? This is going to be Zazoo Nation. Although I won't pick her word because she used that. But you know, the Zazoo Plazz pop culture party. It's my contribution to the world. A place to make my stand, right? Where, you know, somebody might not like it, and that's fine. In fact, that's better because not everybody's going to like everything you do, but it's not a reason not to do it, right? So her record company was like, Janet, we don't want you to do this because the world's not ready for that yet. You won't be as popular. She says, no, I insist. I've got to do this. And she kept pushing and she kept pushing and she kept pushing. And finally the universe said, all right, Janet, that's what you want? Okay. She was feeling helpless. She was feeling hopeless. She was feeling isolated. Any of these ring true during these times? Of course. And what ended up happening? Rhythm Nation got all kinds of awards. She won a Grammy. She's in the Library of Congress. She's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for that album. I mean, there's many good songs on that album too, besides just Rhythm Nation. But that's the one most of us think of. I went out, I got myself a pair of those Doc Marten boots. That was the style. You could wear those with a dress. You could wear them with jeans, black jeans. You could, but it was bad. It was badass. She was badass. We haven't seen anything like that. Not quite. Not by a woman. I mean, and then after that, they all started coming out of the woodwork, right? All of our generation. So it just took one person, and she was in a good position to do that because she had the people around her, talented people who got her. That's what you need. She had a group of people who were all into the same kind of music, all, of like mind about the state of the world and wanting to make a difference, wanting not just to be a Pharisee, right? The Pharisees. oh, I'm so good. I pay my taxes. I go to church and I give money twice. And I'm not like that person, that guy over there. No, there. And we're not any of us above that, or below that. I mean, there's part of us that goes, like this at something. I know I do. And we grew up. We knew people, in our childhoods who were like that. And it's funny how your perspectives on it change. You're sitting among the Pharisees. You feel you feel like, it's funny. You've got to find your own place where you can understand and have compassion for both the Pharisee and the tax collector. And you see that they both kind of serve their own purpose in a way in the world, I mean, if we were all just tax collectors, that it would be an imbalance. We're all Pharisees, see? To the extent that the Pharisees of the world encourage you to be complacent and feel overly righteous, right? Then all of us have, positive and negative aspects to all of our energies, right? And we have things where we can fall down into the lower expressions, like guilt, like, I suppose overzealousness, misplaced, toward a million things. It sounds familiar to me. Maybe self-righteousness, and maybe some of that is useful and some of it is not useful. If it puts you above someone in a way that it blocks your relationships and your communication, and you're helping, to make the world a better place, it's not a good thing. If you're a tax collector and you know, you work for the IRS and you're trying to right injustices by, redistributing who pays taxes to make things just, and giving to Caesar what's Caesar's or whatever, that's fine. But if you're dishonest, if you're taking from people, and so forth, I guess, that's not a good thing. And if you are made to feel less than by somebody, then that's not good either. So you have to sort of embrace, your good qualities. You're a tax collector. You're good at accounting. I don't know. Maybe you make a mean bolognese sauce. I don't know. But, it's all about balance. But in any case, I think if you're feeling, astrologically, it's so funny. Astrologically, Saturn is turning forward after going retrograde. It's in Aquarius. Aquarius is like that futuristic, unisex, world that Janet portrays in her video. It's exactly like that. It's like, 1984 and all these apocalyptic kind of books and shows that we've watched over the years. We kids, I remember being like a teenager and watching the show about nuclear war and being scared, really scared. Nothing scared me as much as that guy, that preacher guy in Poltergeist 2. The one who's singing, and he shows up and he's like the skeleton with the black hat at the door. Oh my God. That's the guy who scared me. And I was 20 years old when that movie came. I don't know. When I saw that movie, it scared the living daylights out of me. That guy, he looked like death, and he's standing at the door looking for Carol Ann, like, oh, he just chilled me down my spine right to my core. But, Rhythm Nation was more like, embracing our generation as leaders. And I know there's a lot of people out there talking about Gen X and, saying that we're just sitting there and watching the boomers fight with the millennials. Well, in a sense, we are and have been observers. But I think the reason that we've been overlooked is probably because we've been doing something about things and we're busy. We're practical people. We've been online. You haven't seen us because we're kind of, we don't like to make a big fuss. But we're creative. We're hardworking. We're creative. And we care about the planet. And we feel like it's entrusted to us somehow to clean things up. Because when we got here, things weren't in very good shape and they started getting worse. So, before you go and criticize Gen X, I would take us more seriously. Because we've had a lot of stuff to deal with, We came down here just for this time. I know you're all, like to... I think nothing bothers us more than using our songs in really bad commercials for products that we wouldn't... That's where my husband and I are like, I have tantrums. I see like some schmaltzy commercial and they've taken a really cool song that was, like when we were in high school or something. Or I'm, waiting in the dentist's office and they're playing like, just, no. No, our songs, we feel like our songs are sacred. They're our music. They unite us. Okay, so, like I was saying, Saturn's going forward in Aquarius. It's in my 5th house of creativity and children. And it's sitting right on my moon. It's square to Uranus. Uranus, the planet, is is in my 8th house in Taurus, I think. And it's like, you know, it's like, are you kidding me? So, yeah. Anyway, here comes the rain. So, Pharisees, tax collectors, Janet Jackson. Oh, yeah. And so the reason how I came to Janet Jackson was this song, Whip It, comes in my head. Like, let's whip it. Let's Whip It or something by the Daz Band. And I'm like, oh, that's like Plazz. Zazoo. Daz. Daz Band. So I look it up and I'm like, oh, yeah. The lead singer, that song came out in 1982, right after I got my driver's license. So that led to me to realize that the lead singer of that band was in Kool and the Gang. And that led me to realize that Kool and the Gang Celebration was also inducted into the Library of Congress. That song, along with Rhythm Nation. So, you see where I'm going with this? Okay, so that's how I came upon Rhythm Nation. So, anyway, Rhythm Nation, yeah, so she persisted, she insisted, and they made the video. And it became the most far-reaching single project that studio had ever put out up until that point. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a real hot button for me. You know, what I want to say is just, if everyone, okay, think about an area of your life right now where you really want to do something and somebody is telling you, oh, it's not a good idea, somebody's not going to like it, but you're really passionate about it. It's like the reason you get up in the morning, and you're thinking, reason would have you think, well, yeah, we don't want to, upset my public. We don't want to upset this one or that one. We want to appear, the Pharisees, we want to appear, upstanding citizens, and we don't want to, dirty ourselves by taking a stand, by saying, look, I know I'm not perfect, God, but just give me a break. Just give me a lucky, send me a lucky star here. This has to happen. I know this is the reason I came here, right? So God says, okay, the tax collector who admits that he's not perfect, but he just wants to, give me another chance, right? To make, make things good, to use my skills in a way that can help this world, right? Become a better place. So instead of just sitting there and saying, oh, I'm glad I'm not that person. I'm glad I'm not that person. Well, you know what? You're not, but you have this mess over here that you can do. You have these tools, and you can put out this fire. See? You can, instead of, okay, maybe you can't put out the whole forest fire, but maybe you can put out the one that's in your backyard, right? And, maybe it'll make a big mess and it'll, I don't know. The neighbors won't like you spraying the water or whatever. But, you put out a fire. Who cares what they think of you? You put out a fire. If everybody did that, put out one little fire that was in their backyard, then the world would be, would be a better place, not burning down, you see? So anyway, I was thinking that it might be it's a good day for tomato soup and grilled cheese. So, I have one child who's, he's gonna go where the fires are and put them out. So, I guess the future generation can give us some hope. So, on that note, I will end my Zazoo report for the week. Go listen to some Janet Jackson and, put aside the Halloween candy. Hopefully hopefully nobody eats it by next week. And stay dry and listen to some music that uplifts you and gives you a sense of purpose. Till next week, Zazoo Plazz signing out. Bye-bye.